boy Richie. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Richie here live on Bleacher Report. We're talking about your New York Knicks. Big updates. The Knicks added a brand new player to the roster, a two-way contract, which we talk about right now. They got a big game tonight after their come-from-behind victory against the Miami Heat on Sunday, which we're excited to talk about. The Knicks are taking on the Golden State Warriors tonight. And at Madison Square Garden before the Knicks go out west to take on the Lakers, the Clippers, the Warriors again, and a lot of fun things to talk about in this show. My name is Richie Malora, and I'm very excited to talk some New York Knicks basketball with you all. So make sure you guys enjoy by hitting the like button and follow us right here on Bleacher Report. Make sure you guys download the BR app as we're live here Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5 p.m. EST. So the first thing I want to talk about is the New York Knicks officially bringing on in Beauchamp. All right, Marjon Beauchamp is coming on in on a two-way contract. This is somebody that, if you look at what the New York Knicks are trying to build, it's athletic wings. He's a former first-round pick that the Knicks are bringing in here. And I feel like when the Knicks went out there and said that they're releasing Jacob Toppin, they're releasing Matt Ryan, I had a feeling that, of course, they're going to make a signing in the next few moments, and that's exactly what they did. They went out there and brought in a guy who's a former first-round pick for Milwaukee, all right? Former first-round pick for Milwaukee, and the Knicks already put out a statement regarding it, as you can see on your screen here. The Knicks went out there and brought in Beauchamp, all right? Now, you guys let me know your thoughts of this move, all right? The Knicks announced it. All right, Beauchamp, 24 years old, 6'7", 199 pounds. Most recently appeared in 29 games with the Bucks and Clippers this season, recording 2.2 points, 1.2 rebounds over 4.8 minutes. Beauchamp recorded a career-high 20 points on 77.8% shooting, 8 rebounds and 1 assist and 1 block versus Atlanta in 2022. The three-year vet holds career averages of 4.2 points, 1.9 rebounds, and 0.6 assists over 11.2 minutes in 129 games. All right, so that's really what the Knicks PR department had to say about it. You guys let me know how you feel about this move. I feel like, listen, this is what we got to talk about first and foremost, because the Knicks went out there and they made a move, and I think they're adding some depth to the playoff run that the Knicks are about to go on in April. And if there was one thing we can all agree with, the Knicks, unfortunately, were unable to get over the hump last year in the postseason, and I think a lot of it had to do with the injury concerns to OG going down, Mitchell going down, Randall being out, a lot of things. So the Knicks are prioritizing the depth of this Knicks team. Realistically, Beauchamp is not going to play unless there's a lot of injuries to the guys ahead of him. In a perfect world, we don't have to see him on the court at all this year, at all, right? So that's really the hope for this Knicks team. He's on a two-way contract, so the Knicks are just adding some pieces to this lineup. Maybe he's a guy that can get new life with this New York Knicks team. He's somebody that's athletic, can be a two-way type of player, plays defense, very athletic, and can get a bucket when he needs to, and he's young and has a ton of upside and a lot of length. So that's really my thoughts of Beauchamp. Now, I want to get into more about Jalen Brunson, because what we saw from JB on Sunday against the Miami Heat was nothing short of spectacular. I mean, you talk about that game against the Miami Heat. It was so fun to watch this team go out there and execute that W. Coming back from 19 points, all right? They came back from a 19-point deficit. I cannot believe the Knicks were able to pull that off. I really cannot. And listen, I'll be honest with you guys. I had a feeling this Knicks team was going to be able to get this job done in Miami. It felt like a trap game going in, right? It definitely felt like a trap game. But when you talk about this Knicks team going up against Miami, you have to be able to go up against this team. You absolutely have to beat them. And at halftime, you're questioning yourselves, why is this Knicks team struggling against a team like the Miami Heat? We should be better than them, right? We should be able to be a team that goes up there and dominates a team like the Miami Heat, if we're being frank with each other. But that's not the case. The Knicks struggled in the first half, and then Jalen Brunson completely goes crazy for the New York Knicks in the second half and was able to get the job done for this Knicks team. So big shout out to JB. Jalen Brunson is an absolute dog, okay? And he's going to win Clutch Player of the Year. I'm here to tell you guys that right now. I've been talking about it for a minute, and you got to give love to OG Anunoby as well, because OG Anunoby, pivotal pieces, pivotal plays in that game. The defense is off the charts. That tip that they got, honestly, if OG did not get that Jalen Brunson shot that he missed late in the fourth quarter, we probably would have not even forced overtime. So Jalen Brunson and, of course, our boy OG Anunoby were pivotal in that matchup for the New York Knicks to get the job done. And the Knicks are on a little winning streak right now, coming out of the All-Star break, something, of course, you want to be able to see. And a lot of people are speculating if the Knicks are able to beat the league's elite, right? The Knicks lost to Cleveland and Boston. I think that's still hanging over some Knicks fans' heads. But now we have Mitchell Robinson healthy. Jalen Brunson is leveling up his game. He's playing like an MVP. I'm sorry, but he absolutely is. 31 points on Sunday, putting the team on his back, hitting the clutch shot in overtime, getting them to overtime in the first place. It's an absolute joy to watch. And the cool thing about this Knicks team that I love, that's my favorite piece about them, is their depth, right? You don't have to rely on one specific player every single game. If Karl-Anthony Towns is not having a great game, you got Jalen Brunson. If Mikal Bridges is missing, you got OG Anunoby. If Josh Hart is not looking good, you got Deuce McBride off the bench. And I feel like that's the Knicks' strength, all right? And the one thing that we all know as Knicks fans that's going to have to keep improving as we enter the NBA postseason is going to be the defense. And I feel like the defense really zipped it up in that second half, forcing the Miami Heat to just go all over the place, double-teaming Tyler Hero, forcing the other guys around him. And listen, the Miami Heat, they're not a phenomenal basketball team. They're a few games below 500. They were just a team that was on the Knicks schedule. I'm not going to say the Knicks beating the Heat is going to prove that they can go far in the NBA playoffs, but those are the types of games, as Clyde Frazier says, that championship type of teams need to win games like that. On the road, being able to come back from a 19-point deficit, it shows you the character and the overall resilience of this New York Knicks basketball team, which I love. They're tough-minded. They're a team that never feels like they're out of it. They're going to put their foot on the gas every single time they feel like they're even down by 15 plus or even 20 points, 19 to be exact. And I feel like you're looking at this Knicks roster, and what should get you excitement heading into this back end of the season and entering the playoffs is the talent that we have on the roster, and more specifically, Jalen Brunson. I mean, I want to talk about Jalen Brunson this entire show because I've been so impressed with Jalen Brunson, man. Jalen Brunson, his clutch ability has been a joy to watch. I think there's a lot of nicknames going around about Jalen Brunson, Captain Clutch, right? He's absolutely going to win Clutch Player of the Year. It feels like every time you need a bucket, JB's got you. He's going to do the nice celly and all that fun stuff. So shout out to Jalen Brunson, man. He is an absolute dog and doing everything he needs to do in order to help this Knicks team go out there and execute and win basketball games. Now, another pivotal piece of this Knicks team that should give you excitement, Knicks fans, is the return of Mitchell Robinson. His impact is being felt. You can tell that this Knicks team is relying on him in limited minutes, of course, only 12 minutes a game so far, which is exactly what Tom Thibodeau should be doing. We do not want to see Mitchell Robinson out there for 30 minutes right away. Let's ease him into it. But he's hustling. He's impacting this team. He is out there playing great basketball. And the best part about Mitchell Robinson that I love is he's having fun out there, man. Mitchell Robinson's having fun. He's happy to be back. He's hustling. He's diving for loose balls. He's getting second chance opportunities. He's still blocking shots. In limited action, Mitchell Robinson is still going out there and executing for this New York Knicks basketball team. That's all you can ask for, man. I think that with the addition of Mitchell Robinson off the bench, right, you can really expect this Knicks team to get better defensively because also, think about Mitchell Robinson. I don't know if you guys have noticed. He is definitely a lot slimmer than what we've seen last year. You talk about Mitchell Robinson's rookie season, sophomore season, from a physical stature standpoint, he kind of looks like quicker on his feet. Last year, he was pretty heavy in terms of he added a lot of muscle, and I feel like that was a big factor into his injury concern. So maybe now that he's lighter on his feet, less weight on his ankle, less weight on his feet, which is where majority of his injuries are happening in his lower ankles, lower legs. So hopefully he can stay healthy, number one. Number two, it seems like he has extremely elevated his athleticism, right? We're going to see Mitchell Robinson unlock himself. Just wait. I'm just waiting for that game where he's blocking shots left and right. He's getting alley-oops. He's putting the ball on the floor. He's absolutely getting second chance opportunities for this Knicks team. It's an exciting time, man. It is an exciting time. Sean in the chat says, bro, Tibbs is overplaying his guys. We are not really deep. We need a center badly. Don't know if Mitchell Robinson can stay healthy throughout the season. We also need another scorer outside of Deuce on the bench. Let's be real. Listen, when I say we're really deep, I think that the Knicks rotation that they have right now, obviously Tom Thibodeau has a different mindset. And a lot of people question Tom Thibodeau from the perspective like, yeah, well, he overplays his players. I understand that. A lot of people feel like Tom Thibodeau overplays his players. And the Knicks are number one, I believe, in starters minutes and starter points. He relies heavily on the starters. And I feel like the bench with Deuce McBride, Landry Shamet, Precious Achua, they've really stepped in. Cameron Payne, and now Mitchell Robinson, of course. I feel like the Knicks are deeper than people are giving them credit for, in my opinion. And I also think that at the end of the day, we have to come together as Knicks fans and realize that I feel like the Knicks are going to go out there and do what they're going to do. Oh, we got some breaking Knicks news. Breaking Knicks news right now, live on Bleacher Report, okay? Live on Bleacher Report. Whoa, Knicks news, Knicks news. We just got a new player. We just got a new player right now. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Who do the Knicks just bring in? According to Shams, let's see. According to Shams, let's see who we brought in. The Knicks just got a brand new player. I'm pulling it up right now, folks. I am pulling it up right now. Here we go. All right, the Knicks just made a new signing. All right, this was expected. The Knicks keep adding new pieces to the team. The New York Knicks are claiming former Celtic forward Anton Watson on a two-way NBA deal, his agents says. All right, so this is a guy that's going to come in to this Knicks team and provide help off the bench and just be a two-way contract, another two-way deal. Nothing really too fancy here. And I feel like the Knicks going out there and adding pieces to this roster. Now, the big question is Jacob Toppin and Matt Ryan. They were both not, a part of this Knicks team, right? This is a rookie from the Celtics. He was just waived by the Boston Celtics literally a day or two ago. He was the 54th pick in the NBA draft this past season. So this is somebody that the New York Knicks feel like, hey, the Celtics drafted him. Maybe they have something that they like. He was, again, a 54th overall pick in the 2024 NBA draft. He was a late second-round pick for Boston. They recently announced that they waived him to make room to sign Miles Norris to a two-way contract. So the Knicks are bringing in somebody that is going to help out this team. Listen, when you bring in two-way contracts, when you bring in guys on two-way deals, you can't really expect them to come in and really even do anything, right? That's how I look at it. I don't understand why TJ Warren and Moses Moody were not the guys. Personally, that's my biggest question mark. I know Moses Moody's out there in Westchester. He just had a 2020 game, and that's something that I feel like, why is he not out there? TJ Warren also just went out there, and I thought those two were going to be the guys. I really do. I felt like the Knicks were going to bring in Moses and TJ Warren personally, but nope, the Knicks bring in Anton Watson and Marjon Beauchamp as their two guys. So listen, when it comes to a two-way NBA deal, the Knicks are bringing in somebody that they feel like, okay, they can. And the one thing I will say about this specific signing, hey, Boston drafted him. The Boston Celtics, they know how to draft well. Now, they released him, so that obviously tells you that they don't really like what they've seen from him in training camp and behind the scenes. Hey, maybe we just wanted Boston's playbook. Maybe we just wanted Boston's playbook, right? But at the end of the day, I'm excited about it. And it's Moses Brown. It's Moses Brown. My apologies. Moses Brown. Someone in the chat got me confused on Bleacher Report. But at the end of the day, this is the Knicks breaking news about who they brought in. So, and listen, at this stage of the season, you're not going to be able to go out there and add a piece that's going to change the entire outlook of this Knicks team. Reality is the two players that the Knicks just brought in are not going to be part of the rotation at all this year. This is just basically chess that Leon Rose is playing, some back end of the depth chart, two-way contracts, nothing to be talking about, because you talk about the players are even above these guys in the depth chart. You're talking about Tyler Kolek. Ariel Hukporti, unfortunately, suffered that torn meniscus, so he's going to be out for the foreseeable future, which is why I don't understand why we're not adding some center depth, right? If there was one thing I got a big issue with this Knicks roster, it is, of course, the center position. Now, Mitchell Robinson returning is big, but if he goes down again, then we're just going to have Cat and Precious and literally nobody. There's not somebody that we can rely on. We traded away Jericho Sims. We have Ariel Hukporti again to be excited about for the future, but he's hurt. He is hurt. So that's a big issue with this Knicks team, is the overall depth at that spot. But the strength of this Knicks team are the wings and, of course, the guards. Having Jalen Brunson playing the way that he's playing, Deuce McBride's impact off the bench, you cannot say enough great things about Deuce McBride's impact. Cameron Payne and Landry Shamet, I think, have been solid off the bench. They're not great. They're not, like, thriving, but I feel like when they get hot in sporadic minutes, they definitely provide a positive impact. And, of course, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, and Mikal Bridges have been helping out this Knicks team immensely. Absolutely. So, salute to everybody that's tuning in live right now. We appreciate it. I feel like Mitchell Robinson is the big talking point of this Knicks fan base, because we're kind of hesitant to be all in on Mitch because we're just waiting for him to go down again. But that's not the mindset we want to have as Knicks fans, right? Let's be excited he's back. Let's stay present. Let's not have fear enter our mind with Mitchell Robinson. He's excited to be here. He's excited to be on the court. So that's really how I look at it. Now, let's talk about tonight's game. I feel like the New York Knicks have a chance to make a statement. The Golden State Warriors are coming to town. Now, the big news about tonight's game is that Stephen Curry is actually questionable. He rolled his ankle last game, and he's up in the air. Now, there's a chance he plays, but there's also a chance he doesn't. Whether he plays or not, I think this Knicks team should be able to still go out there and beat the Golden State Warriors. I know they're playing very good basketball since they acquired Jimmy Butler, of course. But this is going to be a playoff type of matchup, and I feel like the Knicks going up against this Warriors team at this stage of the season is going to be fun. The Warriors are 33-28 on the season right now, and I'm excited to see how this Knicks team faces up against the Golden State Warriors. Again, Stephen Curry yesterday rolled his ankle, all right? And I feel like this Knicks team going up against them is going to be fun. Buddy Hield went off for 22 points last night against Charlotte. Curry had 21. And I feel like Jimmy Butler is providing a big impact for them. So the big question is, are this Knicks team going to be able to get the job done tonight against this team before they go out west? All right, the Knicks are going to go out west after this game, which is going to be a big, big test for this Knicks team, right? You got the Warriors tonight. Thursday, a 10 p.m. EST tip-off, by the way, on Thursday night, because we're on the West Coast, is against the Lakers. I cannot wait for that, folks. I cannot wait for the Knicks-Lakers matchup in Los Angeles. Woo! Can you imagine what that's going to be like? Obviously, we have to get through tonight's game, but a quick little preview of that Knicks-Lakers game. You got Luka Doncic and LeBron James. They're playing the best basketball in the league right now, arguably. They're now all of a sudden the second seed in the West. So the NBA completely turned right when that Luka Doncic trade happened. So now that the Knicks have a chance to go up against one of the hottest teams in basketball on Thursday in their home arena, and then we are against the Los Angeles Clippers, and then the Kings, and then Portland, and then the Warriors again. So a big test for this Knicks team going up against all the top dogs in the West. Cool thing is, on last Friday night, the Knicks went up against another great team in the Western Conference, was able to beat them in the Memphis Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are a really tough team, and we were able to beat them twice this year. Once at our home floor where we blew them out, and then in Memphis where we were basically losing the entire game, and then we stole the game away. That's what the identity of this Knicks team is. If you're questioning what's the identity, what's the mold of this Knicks basketball team, I'm going to tell you right now what it is. They fight all the way until the end, bro. They're pesky. They claw their ways. They're not afraid of anybody, and they're going to play hard. And I feel like they're sacrificing so much individually for the greater good of the team. That's another thing I've noticed about this basketball squad with the New York Knicks is when you're a basketball team like the Knicks and you have all these big names, you got Cat, Bridges, Anunoby, Brunson, Hart, all these guys in the starting lineup, there's going to have to be a sense of selflessness amongst these Knicks players in order to, sacrifice for the greater good. And we even heard from Josh Hart throughout the season. The Knicks got to put their egos aside and do what's best for the greater good of this team. And I feel like that's what they're doing. Make the extra pass, communicate hard on defense, buy into the system of Tom Thibodeau, because when the system is executed at a high level, it really thrives. And I feel like a lot of people like to harp on Tom Thibodeau as he's not a good head coach and he's just not built to be a good, coach in this league anymore. I'm here to tell you, I'm still having an open mind about Tom Thibodeau. I really, really am. I feel like the one thing Tibbs has been lacking this season from a personnel standpoint is a guy down low to be athletic and protect the rim at an efficient level. Precious Achiuwa has been helpful for sure, but without Mitchell Robinson and with the departure of Isaiah Hartenstein, we have not had it. And you look at Tom Thibodeau's career in the NBA, every single time he's had an elite level defense, there's been an elite level rim protector. And I love Karl Anthony Towns here, but without Mitchell Robinson healthy, now he is healthy, luckily, Cat is not a guy that you can rely on defense. He's a phenomenal talent offensively, which I'd love to see. But at the end of the day, the Knicks' bread and butter has to be defense. If they want to get over the hump and contend against these teams in the Eastern Conference, to get past the first round, to contend with Boston in round 2, to somehow get by Boston and beat Cleveland in the Eastern Conference Finals, they're going to have to get back to their roots, which is defense. And I think every single person knows that. Every single person knows that. So that's really my thoughts of the current state of this Knicks team. We did have breaking news that the Knicks did sign Anton Watson, who was a second-round pick of the Boston Celtics. If you guys are just tuning in and did not see that news, Anton Watson is now signed to a two-way NBA deal. All right, that is the latest news for the New York Knicks. I'm excited about that. I think that, getting somebody that the Boston Celtics drafted, hey, man, they're an organization you want to follow. Hey, maybe we're getting the Boston playbook. We're bringing them in to learn more about them as we enter the NBA playoffs in April, right? That's really how you got to look at it as well, which is an exciting thing to see, man. Exciting thing to see. So at the end of the day, I'm excited about what this Knicks team has got cooking up for the rest of the season. You guys should be too, man. And I feel like I hated to see the narrative around Knicks fans that the Knicks are going, the season's done and the Knicks are done, right? I cannot disagree with that more, that the season's over just because we lost 2 regular season games back-to-back. Like, I don't know what to say about that. But the one thing I will say that I don't understand when it comes to the Knicks roster, why we did not sign Moses Brown. Moses Brown put up 26 points and 20 rebounds. Does anybody tell me why he's not signed? Can we still bring him in? Is it too late, folks? I mean, somebody in the chat enlighten me, because Moses Brown put up 26 and 20, and the Knicks need help at the center spot. And the fact that he's not the guy the Knicks are bringing in, I don't know why. But hey, you never know. Now, I do want to give a big shout out to Mr. Jalen Brunson. You want to know why? Because he was named the Eastern Conference Player of the Week, baby. Woo! You know it. Congratulations to Jalen Brunson, because he won the Eastern Conference Player of the Week award. I'm going to throw the graphic on the screen here in a sec, because I feel like what the Knicks have right here with Jalen Brunson is something special, man. It really, really is, because Jalen Brunson is the clutch player of the year. He is playing out of his mind in the fourth quarter, and it's been a joy to watch, man. It's been a joy to watch Jalen Brunson. You guys in the chat, let me know, what nickname do you have for Mr. Jalen Brunson? What nickname do you have for Jalen Brunson? Because I've seen a lot of them. I mean, I feel like Captain Clutch is the easiest one to talk about. You got to say it's Captain Clutch, right? Because what he's able to do right now is an absolute joy to watch, folks. It's an absolute joy to watch. And he wins NBA Player of the Week for the Eastern Conference. Here is the graphic on your screen now. Woo, look at that, baby. Look at that. 29.3 points per game for Jalen Brunson. 6.3 assists per game. 5.0 rebounds, and he's 3-0. I mean, what more can we say about Jalen Brunson? Could he elevate himself back to the MVP conversation? Remember last year, JB finished 5th in MVP voting. 5th in MVP voting. That was awesome. That was absolutely awesome that the New York Knicks were able to get this man here. He's home. He's home, and he's only getting started, it feels like. And I feel like Jalen Brunson has been adjusting his game a little bit. As the season started, he had to adjust to Karl-Anthony Towns, right? He had to adjust to even OG Anunoby, right? He was only here for half a season last year. Mikal Bridges coming back. And now seeing him putting up this type of effort, efficient, putting the team on his back when the team is down, this is what you're able to do. That is awesome, man. So congratulations to JB for being the Eastern Conference Player of the Week. That is awesome. This is not his first time winning this award, by the way. I think that every single time the Knicks go out there and we see someone nominated, the Knicks are usually the ones that get these awards, which is awesome to see. Karl-Anthony Towns was lighting up this season for the Knicks early on, and then Jalen Brunson kind of took the torch. They were both starting all-stars, and now you see what JB's been able to do this year. It's been a joy to watch. I don't know about you guys, but every single time the Knicks go into the fourth quarter with 5 minutes left to go, and it's a 5 to 7 point game, or even a 9-point game, I got confidence that we're going to go out there and make it a game in the clutch because of Jalen Brunson. When was the last time the New York Knicks were able to have a guy like this, that you feel this much confidence, this much trust in the fourth quarter to go out there and win some basketball games? It is an absolute joy to watch. Now, some things to watch this season, or this week even, in tonight's game that I'm going to be looking after for the New York Knicks is Mikal Bridges, because Mikal Bridges is a very interesting name right? When is he going to be able to get into a rhythm offensively? And listen, his defense has been flawless. I mean, I feel like his defensive ability is very underappreciated because it's not flashy. He's not going out there and, blocking shots left and right, but his impact in the clutch defensively, he had that game-winning block against Vucevic in that Chicago game a few weeks back. He had the game-winning stop at the end, at the buzzer against John Morant. Like, Mikal Bridges is our defensive guy, not to mention him, but OG Anunoby's defense. You see his defense against Miami? Ooh, my goodness. OG Anunoby is like a demon out there on the defensive side of the floor. And that's what this Knicks team has to buy into. That's the strength. That's the backbone of Tom Thibodeau, is the defense. So I'm asking Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby to keep buying in. Mitchell Robinson's return is going to level up the defense. I'm telling you guys that right now, because now that Jalen Brunson is playing at this level, and you add Mitchell Robinson getting healthy, you add OG Anunoby starting to ball, you add Josh Hart getting healthy with his knee problem. Cat, I mean, it's awesome to watch this Knicks team play basketball every single night, man. I'm really, really in love with this basketball team. I don't know about you guys. I do not relate to the people that's like, yeah, we're not going to go far in the playoffs this year because we can't beat the Celtics or the Cavs. Don't buy into that energy. Please, don't have that loser's mindset. Let's not forget that us Knicks fans were out there in April when the season was completely over, right? I'm talking about 5-6 years ago when the Knicks had like 9, 10, 11 wins. We're out of the playoffs, but Knicks fans are still in Madison Square Garden rooting for the team like we're in the playoffs. Let's not forget where we came from. Let's appreciate that this Knicks team is like 20 games over 500. I mean, that is a beautiful thing to see. 40-20 on the season, being able to beat all the great teams. Don't make it seem like we can't beat good teams too. Because yes, we lost to OKC, Cleveland, Boston. But we also swept Memphis. We beat Houston, okay? We beat Memphis twice. We have a chance to beat the Lakers Thursday. I know they beat us the first round, but let's go out there and beat the Lakers. Like, this Knicks team doesn't crumble to every good team. They beat the great teams. They struggle against the elite team. So the question is, can this Knicks team become that elite team? Can we be able to match up against Boston and Cleveland one day? I really do. And I'm patient. I'm not sitting here thinking that this is a championship or bust season. Are you? Let's be realistic. Let's absolutely be realistic. I think this Knicks team is capable of pushing Boston to Game 6 or Game 7, maybe even go over the hump. We also beat Denver as well. Thank you, E-Money, for that, because the Knicks are beating good basketball teams this season, and now there's a narrative like, oh, they're 0-7 against Cleveland, OKC, and Boston combined. They're overrated. Like, listen, I'm sorry, but that stat right there is not going to make me give up on the season as a Knicks fan. How can you possibly have that mindset when you go out there and watch Jalen Brunson play basketball the way that he's playing with Cat and all these guys? I can list every single player. I love this Knicks basketball team. I love how Leon Rose constructed this roster. I still believe in Tom Thibodeau. I still believe in him. Now, that's something I feel like some Knicks fans don't agree with on me. I'm not going to sit here and say the Knicks should fire Tibbs. I'm not on the fire Tibbs train. I'm actually pro Tom Thibodeau, and hopefully he proves me right? Because I know some people are going to disagree with that. You guys in the chat, let me know. Do you think Tom Thibodeau is a good head coach for this Knicks team? And I feel like in the playoffs is really going to be tested because I know people are upset with his minutes. They don't like his distribution. They feel like his system is outdated. I personally think he's evolved as a coach offensively. We're shooting the most threes we've ever done, pushing the pace. And this is a guy that has a system that a lot of players are buying into. So I feel like this Knicks team is doing the right thing. And we got a big game tonight against the Warriors. Woo! Will the Knicks get the job done? Steph Curry is questionable again tonight, right? Steph Curry is questionable tonight. So will the New York Knicks be able to go out there and get the job done against the Golden State Warriors? So, folks, I'm going to wrap up the show here. My name is Richie, live on Bleacher Report and YouTube at the same time. Do me a favor, folks. If you're watching on YouTube, please download the Bleacher Report app. Go support BR. We're live here Tuesdays and Thursdays. You got Knicks Fan TV live here Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. It's a great time talking some Knicks basketball right here on the great BR app. The Knicks got big game tonight before they go out west. And I feel like if they want to set the tone and get some positive energy entering into this West Coast trip, why not go out there and beat the Golden State Warriors with or without Curry? All right, let's do this thing. Let's show Jalen Brunson who he is, right? Let's show the NBA world who Jalen Brunson is right now, baby. So that's going to wrap up this show, folks. Salute to everybody in the chat. I love you guys. Let's go, Knicks. And I'll see you on Thursday. Peace out, folks.